forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is a show by the people, for the people, and you, my friends, are my people. So jump in there, comment, let us know what you think, join our growing community. That is the way we like it. In today's program, a high school runner smashes another runner over the head with a baton. I guess that's one way to try to win. We're going to take a look at that. And big names on the move. NFL free agency is upon us. And we're going to have Armando Salguero joining the program to talk to me about that. We've got America's Poll of the Day, of course, a generous helping of Super 70 Sports tweets. But let's begin with Angel Reese and the WNBA. Yeah, that's right. Angel Reese making news on her podcast, Unapologetically Angel, sitting down with DeJounte Carrington. Remember her? She's the girl that poked Caitlin Clark in the eye last season and made news. And they're sitting down having a conversation during their off season. And Angel says, well, let's listen to what Angel had to say, and then we'll break it down.
Not this year, but next year. Or because the ones coming this year will still be on the rookie contract again. Mm-hmm. The ones that the year after, they're gonna get more. They probably gonna be making more than us.
No, they are.
I'm hurt.
They are. Like, yeah. I've been in the meetings. They are.
Did you catch that? Maybe they'll set out if things don't go. The WNBA players are gonna strike if they have to. Oh boy, this is a league. I think that you're almost obligated when you mention the WNBA to say in the next sentence, comma, a league that has never turned a profit in its 30-year history. They lost $40 million last year. That's with Caitlin Clark. Okay, last year, all the success. Remember, record ratings, more people viewing than ever, games being moved to 20,000-seat arenas to accommodate Caitlin Clark-a-mania. They still lost $40 million when they had their best season that they've ever had. Angel Reese is talking about if they don't get what they want, they're going to strike. She had a chance to walk it back. It's a casual setting. She's sitting there chilling with her friend DeJounte. They're just talking. Maybe when this hit the news, there was a chance for Angel to say, okay, well, hang on. This is being misconstrued. But nope. Let's take a look at what Angel Reese tweeted in the wake of her podcast comments. She doubled down on this. I said, WTF, I said, and I'll say it again. What happens if you throw a strike and nobody cares? That's like when you're a little kid and you say that you're going to hold your breath until you get what you want. Well, try that out. See how it works out for you. Can you imagine? Don't these women know that this league is not turning a profit? You're lucky to be there. And I hope that the WNBA succeeds. I really do. I hope that it succeeds. I've got 5 daughters. I think women's sports are great. I hope that the WNBA takes a foothold from this Caitlin Clark opportunity that they have, and I hope that they become profitable. And I hope that in 10 years, they're not a punchline. I hope that they are making money and that they can sustain themselves on their own as a business model. But they're not there yet. And believe me, going on a strike, can you imagine if they went on a strike? What if there wasn't a 2025 season? Because Angel Reese isn't happy with what she's making. Or a 2026 season, whatever they're referring to. This year, next year, if they strike, imagine how much damage they would do to themselves. Remember what Major League Baseball did to themselves with strikes? Remember what the NHL did to itself the year that they didn't play? I think that was a lockout, if I recall correctly. It's damaging to successful leagues. That's why the McGuire-Sosa home run race in 98 was so big. Cal, we were so desperate to try to get baseball on track. We were just excited about a guy who showed up at work every day. Remember how Cal Ripken inspired the hell out of us just by showing up? The WNBA, it's not going to be so easy to put those pieces back together. Now, Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, is out there as well, reflecting on her rookie season and where she's at in her career. This is Caitlin Clark speaking at the cardiological something or another cardiovascular research technologies conference. Caitlin Clark sounds like a hell of a get for them. Can you imagine? Well, what are we doing this year? Well, I don't know. We're all cardiologists. I guess we're going to be talking about cardiovascular research technologies. Well, guess what? I hear it's going to be good this year. We got Caitlin Clark. Let's take a listen.
Comparing the WNBA and the NBA, I don't really think that's fair. Obviously, I think where the WNBA is right now is pretty incredible. I think a lot of people, or most people, would not believe it's in the place that it is right now. So I think when people always ask me this question, where I think it'll be in 5 years, is it's hard for me to answer because people didn't even think we'd be right here right now. And I think really sky's the limit. I think when you see, our TV numbers when we're on, national television, we're averaging over 1 million viewers or whatever it is. The All-Star game, I think, was over 4 million viewers. It's just really great numbers. So the more opportunities we're given, I think the more it's going to shine and get better and better. I think also the talent level in college is continuing to get a lot better, and as those players come into the league, and it's going to continue to improve. We're adding 2 new teams next year, and then probably another team year after that.
Some more games.
Yeah, more games, which I think will be good.
I suppose the good news for the WNBA is that your star player, the franchise of the entire organization, not just the Indiana Fever, understands. She gets it. You couldn't ask for a better representative for the WNBA if the rest of the ladies could just play their part, chip in, do the best that they can. You might have something here. Try not to ruin it. I will tell you that Caitlin is coming in year 2 for vengeance. Take a look at these guns on Caitlin Clark. People are noticing. Look at that flex, the biceps. What was the one rap on her that we heard coming out of college? She's not going to be strong enough. She's going to get pushed around. She's not going to be able to play the same game in the WNBA that she played at Iowa. That might have been true to some extent. Didn't stop her from being a great player. Didn't stop her from putting up tremendous numbers. But I knew, it just as you did, if you know anything about Caitlin Clark at this point, she was going to go into the offseason and she was going to work her ass off on wherever she perceived her deficiencies as a rookie to be. And then she's going to come back year 2. And I expect Caitlin Clark to be a lot better in year 2 than year 1. And that is recognizing how good she was during year 1. She might be the MVP of the league this year. Very easily could be the MVP of the league this year. Ronnie T-Shirts has talked about JuJuj Watkins on this program a few times. Take a look at this. JuJuj Watkins at USC. That's pretty impressive. She just broke Caitlin Clark's record for most points scored in her first 2 seasons in the NCAA. Could Caitlin Clark's all-time scoring record already be in jeopardy? Is that possible? Seems like it is. And JuJuj Watkins might be the rival that Caitlin Clark needs. I've said it many times. Caitlin Clark, she can't do it alone. She is a strong lead horse, but she cannot pull the WNBA along by herself. There have to be others. Let me now bring in the international streaming star himself from Nashville, Tennessee. He is Ronnie T-Shirts. Ronnie, your girl Angel, she might be ready to set out.
No, Ricky,
It's true.
no.
Well,
no WNBA.
I'm just so you know.
What do I do? Come Come on, man.
Well, you're going to be fucked, buddy, is what's going to happen.
I mean,
I assume that, fans like yourself, you need to reach out to the WNBA and voice your displeasure that this is a possibility and tell them pay her whatever she wants.
Should I start
pay
a
her
GoFundMe?
Whatever she wants, Ron.
Should I start a GoFundMe?
Maybe.
I think I'm going to do it. I mean, talk about not having any leverage, right? Like, wow. Just zero leverage. Zero. I mean, I guess if Caitlin said she was going to sit out, maybe the WNBA would try to figure out a way to do a little side deal. But Angel, come on. Learn to do a layup first, Angel. Then maybe talk about sitting out.
Unbelievable. Ron, I've said many times back in the day, one of my favorite arcade games, let's take a look at this. Track and field, Ron. I loved this game, and you would have to get you'll be able to hear this a little bit. Does that sound familiar? If you ever played track and field, you had to hit those buttons hard as you could go. Burning forearm muscles are temporary. Glory is forever. But one option that we never had when we were playing track and field when I was a kid is just beating the other people with batons, Ron. And apparently we have an innovator out there in Virginia high school athletics, and her name is Alayla Everett. And I want you to take a look at this. Again, this is the Virginia State Class 3 Indoor Championships. Kaylin Tucker, you're going to see this. She is the girl who is passing and moving into second place, and you can see there, hey, now.
Whoa.
And we'll need to look at that. Look, I don't know how heavy those batons are.
Well, it doesn't
what they're
matter.
Made out of.
Clearly,
well, I mean, it matters.
No, my point is it doesn't matter. It would have hurt. You saw her grab her head.
Yes.
Like, do we have any idea what precipitated this?
She was being passed. Is what I could gather.
She was beating me.
She claims that it was an accident. She did not apologize initially. Now she has done an interview with local news saying that basically she's the victim here because she didn't do it on purpose. And people are saying terrible things to her now. And yes, she basically said, yes, your head's hurting, but like, what about my feelings? Because I didn't mean to do that on purpose.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the same excuse Myles Garrett gave when he beat the hell out of Mason Rudolph with his helmet that one time?
He said he swung his helmet at Mason Rudolph. I don't think he hit him.
It was an accident. Well, I meant to the swing. He said it was an accident. I didn't mean to do it.
Well, things have turned out just fine for Myles Garrett, as I'll discuss later with Armando. Yeah, he's doing all right. The thing where Sacha Baron Cohen's this crazy dictator and he's running in a sprint or whatever, and he just pulls out a gun and starts shooting the other sprinters. But this made me think of that.
Or your Castro tweet.
What are we doing here?
Your Castro tweet playing. Yes. The guys won't play defense.
Yeah. Imagine hooping with Castro back in the day. He was getting guarded less intensely than Magic Johnson in the 92 All-Star game. Ron, he was Olay is what I have to say. Yeah, Tim, go ahead. What do you want me to go to? We've got a poll of the day here. Well, do it, whatever that is. Let's see it.
What that plan is. Selfie time for some shot the clear fans. Yeah.
Here we go, Ron.
Supporters.
Take a look at. Hey now.
Obviously,
that is Coastal Carolina baseball for you right there, Ron.
What that plan is.
Take a look there. East Carolina taking on Coastal Carolina. 5-0 game in the third inning. We're just taking a look at the fans there.
Obviously, her glasses
Cotter.
are not reading glasses because she had them down where.
I take at least one ass selfie a day, Ron. I don't know about you.
I mean, if my ass looked that good, I would take pictures of mine too. So,
you know how I get caught on this show playing with my hair? It'll come back to me, and like I'm getting my hair. What if it came back to me one day and I just had my camera up, getting a good shot of my butt. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I didn't. We're back now on the Ricky Cobb show. I don't know. She probably loved that. That much more attention.
Do we know her IG handle?
TV.
Do we know her IG handle so we can check out the results?
Amazingly. Let's ask Joe Kinsey on Thursday. I'm sure by Thursday, Joe Kinsey will know everything.
Joe will have interviewed her.
He'll have her complete bio. Yes. Joe will have interviewed her, and we'll have it all for you, exclusive OutKick here with Joe on the case. He's like a bloodhound when it comes to stuff like that. It is now my pleasure always to welcome to this show our friend. He is OutKick's senior NFL writer. I speak, of course, of the great Armando Salguero. And Armando, we got good stuff happening this week. It's Christmas in March for some of us right now. Free agency kicking off on Wednesday. But today, coming up here in just a little over a half an hour, the legal tampering period begins. Armando, explain to people what's going on with free agency and how all this madness works.
Yeah, merry NFL free agency, Ricky. Ho, ho, ho. And
yes,
look,
indeed.
The NFL is going to come and, the NFL police is going to come see you because they hate the term legal tampering period. The NFL is a little bung tight about integrity. And so legal tampering doesn't fly with them. They call it the open negotiating period. And that starts at noon today. And that means that agents who represent pending free agents are free to contact and speak with teams and enter into negotiations with those teams. And those negotiations can lead to a contract which can be announced and signed on Wednesday. So, which is March 12th, which is the official opening of free agency. Here's the thing, though, and a little secret. We're going to get a bunch of deals done starting at noon going forward. I would say Sam Darnold is going to be one of the top and first dominoes to fall. And we're going to see a bunch of, motion and action after that.
All right, Mr. Goodell, open negotiation period. Gotcha. All right, Armando, you've got a great piece up. All of your pieces are great, but you've got a great one up now about the Bengals off season. And I was reading it this morning. Take me into where the Cincinnati Bengals may be mucking things up.
Oof. Yeah, the Bungles are back. So let's set the table here. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Trey Hendrickson all wanted new contracts last year. Trey Hendrickson actually asked to be traded last year. The idea was, if you sign us now, it'll be better for you tomorrow. The Bengals decided, we're not going to sign any of you now. They put the franchise tag on T. Higgins, and they played last year and didn't make the playoffs. The problem is the prices that these players wanted to sign an extension at last year, have they gone up? Yes, they have. They've gone up. And so now this year, the Bengals put the franchise tag on T. Higgins that's costing them $26 million a year. Last year, he was asking for $22 million in a long-term deal on average. So they could have had him cheaper for 4 years instead of more expensive for 1 year. Jamar Chase last year said he wanted to be the highest paid non-quarterback. He still wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback. Last year, that would have taken $34.5 million. Now it takes over $40 million because Myles Garrett yesterday got that from the Cleveland Browns, and he's not a quarterback, and Jamar Chase wants to be higher than him. Trey Hendrickson is scheduled to make $21 million. Okay, that's what he was averaging. Last year, he said, hey, can you bump me to like, I don't know, 25, 26, 27? They said no, the Bengals did. Guess what edge rushers are getting now? Well, let's see. Myles Garrett is getting $40 million, and Max Crosby is getting $34.5 million, I believe. And here is Trey Hendrickson at 21, wanted 25. Now he wants over 30. And why does he want over 30? Because he's led the NFL in sacks the last 2 years with 35. So the Bengals, if they had gotten off their posteriors last year, they could have had these three guys at a much cheaper rate. They've sat back and watched the market fly this offseason, and they're still sitting on their behinds, and they're likely to lose Trey Hendrickson.
Armando, big contract for Josh Allen, obviously. $330 million, $250 million guaranteed, which is the most guaranteed money in an NFL contract to date. How does that one look? Is that a win-win for Buffalo and Josh Allen?
Well, obviously the Bills are rewarding Josh Allen despite the fact that they didn't have to. He had 4 years remaining on his contract, but he won the MVP. He took them to the AFC Championship game with a roster that most people thought, including me, wasn't going to be AFC Championship game worthy. So the Bills are, here's the big reward, Josh, and we trust you with our lives, because the guaranteed money that he gets in this contract is a record. It's the most guaranteed ever. And here's some perspective. Josh Allen's guaranteed money is more than the total amount of contract money that, say, Tua Tagovailoa is getting, that Jared Goff is getting, that Jordan Love is getting, that Kyler Murray is getting. His guarantees are higher than all those other guys' total contract. So, yeah, the Buffalo Bills are rewarding Josh Allen, and they're expecting Josh Allen to lead them to the promised land at some point, and they don't care about anything else. They're not worried about anything else. No injury worries, no anything.
All right, Armando, take me through the latest in the quarterback shuffle. You were talking about Sam Darnold, and he's going to cash in somewhere. We got Aaron Rodgers lurking out there, Russell Wilson. What's going to happen with him depending upon what the Steelers decide to do? Take me through the QB landscape.
Oh, I like the word lurking. That's a good word, Ricky. I like lurking. I got to write that down. Lurking. Yes, that's going to be a word I will be using here in the next couple of days. So let's agree that the Tennessee Titans have the number 1 overall pick. They need a quarterback, and Cam Ward is there. Yeah, okay. I'm marrying those two up. That's going to happen. The Raiders have traded for Geno Smith. They're done with the veteran quarterback market. They may dip into the draft. I don't know if it'll be in the first round. The Giants need a quarterback and a starter. They're trying to lure Aaron Rodgers. They've been lurking around Aaron Rodgers' home in New Jersey going, hey, we're in New Jersey. You're in New Jersey. Come on, let's just make your commute a little bit longer. The Cleveland Browns will find a quarterback somewhere. I don't know if it's in the draft or not. Pittsburgh, again, the possibility of a return of Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. Dude, personally, I've seen and I've been told about the relationship that and the respect that Aaron Rodgers has with Mike Tomlin and vice versa. And I believe there's something there. So don't be surprised if that happens. Aaron Rodgers, by the way, he hasn't said that he's playing. And until I hear that he's definitively playing, I have to include a possible retirement as a possibility, right? Because Aaron Rodgers is kind of unpredictable. It seems to me that it would behoove him not to go out on a fabulous career the way he did last year with the Jets, released by a loser team. So maybe he decides I'm the same. I'm not going out like this. And Minnesota is possibility. Obviously, we already talked about Pittsburgh. Look, I just think Aaron Rodgers is a one-year thing, and let me prove it to you, and off we go. And so I think that he next year has the possibility of playing better than all these other guys that you're talking about. If he lands, say, in Minnesota, they've got great receivers. They got a good offensive line. They made Sam Darnold a bunch of money and made him look good. I think they can make Aaron Rodgers look good. So there's that.
Yeah.
Indianapolis,
yeah.
The Jets like Justin Fields.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, God bless them. That sounds like a match made in hell, but good luck if they do that. Armando, what do you think's going to happen with Darnold? That is, I'm watching the Sam Darnold thing with great interest. Where do you think's his most likely landing spot?
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Seattle. They obviously, as we talked about, traded. They traded Geno Smith, so now they need a replacement for Geno Smith. And here's what I've been told: the Geno Smith negotiations got to a point where they didn't think that the money that Geno was talking about was commensurate with the money that he is worth. And so they decided we can take this money and use it on someone we feel stronger about. And I believe that guy is Sam Darnold. There's some talk about Darnold going to the Giants. I'm not sure I buy that. But hey, weirder things have happened. He's not going back to Minnesota because what Sam Darnold's camp wants is a multi-year deal. And the Vikings right now aren't ready to do that with JJ McCarthy sitting, lurking in the wings, ready to, play if it comes to it.
All right, one more for you, Armando. Shedeur Sanders. If we assume that the Ward Tennessee Titans marriage will probably be consummated with that number 1 overall pick, where do you think that Shedeur is most likely to end up?
That's a tough one. If Shedeur Sanders were not a quarterback, he'd be a sure second-round pick relative to his ability, athletic acumen, and all that stuff relative to his position. But because he's a quarterback, all quarterbacks get moved up. They get overdrafted. Sometimes it works out, as most of the guys drafted last year can attest. Sometimes it doesn't, as 20 other drafts before that can attest. So Cleveland needs a quarterback. They're up there. They could draft him. I don't understand the desire to overdraft Shedeur Sanders. I think if people had some discipline, they'd wait or trade down. But if you're just looking for a landing spot, I see Cleveland as a possibility. I don't discount the possibility that the Raiders, who just traded for Geno Smith is 30, either 35 or 37. I don't recall right off the top of my head. He told me his birth date, and I forgot because I don't care. But anyway, so they need a younger quarterback. And by the way, I mentioned Pittsburgh before. They traded for DK Metcalf yesterday. DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson are like brothers. They love each other. They vacation together. Russell Wilson introduced Metcalf's girlfriend to DK Metcalf. And so don't discount the idea that the Pittsburgh Steelers look at that combo and think, yeah, that's a combo that'll work on the field.
All right, Armando, I know I better let you go because in 20 minutes, the open negotiating period is about ready to open, and I know you're going to be lurking, ready to break any and all news that's going to be happening this week. My friend Armando, always a pleasure. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Ricky.